Howdy folks, and welcome to yet another October full of thrills and chills, creeps and creatures. I've always loved this month because it gives me an excuse to check out horror movies that I might not have seen before, or at least haven't seen in a while. And today I bring you all a special sort of film. So stick around, because in this installment of Schlocktober, we'll be looking at and reviewing a fun little indie film called Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. To start, let's talk a little bit about the basics of this movie. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell is a 1995 horror comedy film that took more than 15 years to shoot and edit. In 2012, a limited amount of copies of the film were distributed, and in 2014, the film will be brought to standard retail in Japan with an international release in 2017. Basically, it took a long while for this film to spread out and find its footing. The film was written and directed by Shinichi Fukuzawa, who also starred in the film. The only other acting credit I can find for the guy is in a film called Violator. I haven't seen that one, but if it stars this guy, then I just might sometime. The other actors that I could find on IMDb are Masaki Kai, Masahiro Kai, Aki Tamamai, and Asako Nosaka. According to some German Wikipedia page, Asako Nosaka starred in the film as the medium, and Masaki Kai played Mika. Unfortunately, I can't read Japanese, so these scraps are the best I can work off of. I'm not really sure why I can't find an American Wikipedia page on this subject. If someone knows how Wikipedia works, please let me know down below. I am confused and very scared. Anyways, with that laid out, what's the general story for this film? Well, to quote from IMDb, trapped inside a house, a bodybuilder must save himself from a gruesome ghost hell-bent on revenge. Wow, the title for this film is like super straightforward. If only all films could just splay things out in the open like this. I'll say that the story itself is rather bare bones. Don't expect deep, intricate twists and turns. This is a goofy haunted house movie that takes tons of inspiration from Evil Dead. In fact, if you've seen Evil Dead, you'll probably tell what direction this film goes in. It's a horror action comedy that doesn't shy away from low-budget gross-out effects. There is no deeper meaning to it. It's 63 minutes of a guy and gal fighting a possessed medium and finding new and creative ways to mutilate a body. If you wanted something a bit deeper, you might want to wait until next week for a completely different film. With that said, what are the characters like in this film? Well, they are pretty thin on any sort of deep characterization. Shinichi Fukuzawa plays our protagonist Shinji, and he's best described as being a bit of a smarmy meathead who at times seems more focused on his pecs than the actual ghost that's trying to kill him. Again, if you've seen Evil Dead, you will immediately see the similarities between him and Ash Williams. The film is unashamed with almost ripping off the character, and frankly, I'm glad it does because the world could always use more characters like Ash. The other two characters, as mentioned before, are Masaki Kai as Micah and Asako Nosaka as the medium, and I thought both characters were decent. I think Asako Nosaka did a great job as playing the possessed medium, who gets progressively more and more mangled as the short film goes on. We are talking complete bodily dismemberment. He's absolutely demented and feels like a deadite that jumps straight out of Evil Dead. As for Micah, I do wish that she had more to do in the film, but what little she does get to do is pretty fun. That is when she isn't busy getting choked. That happens a lot for some reason. Up next, the set. Apparently, according to that German Wikipedia page, the film was shot in an old house that belonged to Fukuzawa's parents. It was actually slated to be demolished, which adds to the abandoned, creepy look that it has. Besides that, there isn't really much to talk about with the set besides that it's a lot of fun to watch as it gets progressively more and more bloody throughout the film. God, I sound like a psychopath. Now for my favorite part of the film, its visual style and effects. As you can tell, this is a very scrappy looking movie, and the grainy look I think actually adds to it a bit. It makes it feel like a seedy little grindhouse film you'd find tucked away in some dirty cinema at the end of town. And then there's the gore effects. As shown previously, it's low budget, handmade, and full of charisma. Some visual effects are downright goofy, but I think that just adds more to the charm. Again, you can see the Evil Dead influences literally bleeding through. There are also some shots that are very surreal, and in a way they add a unique element to the film. It makes you think about all the time and effort that was put into something that is still so relatively obscure. Every little imperfection, I think, is a sign that Fukuzawa poured a lot of his own soul into making this film. This wasn't made to be a cynical cash grab. It was created from a place of love for the horror genre, and I positively can't get enough of it. Finally, we have the score. I think that for this film, the score worked well. It's a bit goofy, but it also has this grungy rock feel to it that I think goes well with the time period that it's from. There are also some moodier pieces that remind me a bit of the Resident Evil games. It's nothing too standout, but it does complement everything very well. So, overall, would I recommend Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell? And my answer would be, if you are a fan of cheesy B films with next to no budget, copious amounts of blood and dismemberment, and a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor that is reminiscent to that of Evil Dead, then you should give it a watch. It's only 63 minutes long, so if you're bored for an hour this Halloween, why not have a bit of fun? I wouldn't suggest eating any salsa or any sort of tomato-based puree while watching it though. I mean, the gore isn't realistic at all, but still. I've made it a habit to never eat anything vibrant or meaty during a horror film. Popcorn only, folks. And now, in the immortal words of Shinji,
Sayonara, baby.
Howdy folks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a ton of fun making it and the other videos that I have planned for this October. Halloween is my favorite holiday, so you better believe that I like to go all out for it. If you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. With all that said, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
Oh,
I'm only helping. Snickers.
we're definitely going to her.